Welcome to the campus of the University of Central Florida here in Orlando as we await the final regular season match of Pro Volleyball Federation play here in Florida. The Vegas Thrill taking on the Orlando Valkyries. So glad to have you with us. Sean Davison alongside the beach volleyball All-American at Florida State, Madison Fitzpatrick. And Madison, I usually hype this up more, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Each of these teams is trying to finish the season, a tough one for both, on the right foot.
Absolutely. It's been a trial season for both of these teams because, as we know, the league is full of absolute superstars, and it was a tight race to the playoffs. But now, here in the final game of the season, both teams obviously want to cap off the season on a high, and I expect them to play like it.
We're certainly looking forward to seeing that, and we've thoroughly enjoyed introducing all of you at home to the Orlando Valkyries this season. We've included interviews with practically all of them before each of our broadcasts. So today we did something a little bit different. Madison and I stood by and discussed what we've seen this year and what we're excited to see next year. And it's really been a fun conversation, and we hope you enjoy it. It's coming your way after these messages.
There's so much pressure for young girls. You have to wear this. If you weren't with these people, you weren't at the cool party, you weren't in. And then that puts pressure on them, okay, I need to not be myself to make these girls like me.
Girl Talk is a national nonprofit organization that really helps all girls develop the confidence to lead. And we do that by having high school girls mentor middle school girls through the most formative years of their lives.
This is a safe place. If you feel you don't have confidence, we're gonna help you build that.
What makes me most proud to be a part of Girl Talk is what separates it from other organizations. We're doing unique work. We serve all girls. It doesn't matter what socioeconomic, cultural, religious background you're from, that the experience of a girl is universal.
This is a place where empowerment truly starts from within, and that's a beauty that lasts for a long time.
Join Girl Talk, you won't regret it.
Hey there, everybody. As I mentioned, we're going to do this a little bit differently. Sean Davison, Madison Fitzpatrick, and we're going to get a little FaceTime here today as we just sort of debrief and recap what we've seen and how far we've come in year one of Pro Volleyball Federation play. And Madison, I'll start right there. This has been a history-making endeavor for volleyball, for women's sport, and for sport as a whole. What are your thoughts on what we've seen from January now until May?
It's just been absolutely incredible to see the amount of support that each of the teams have had. Each individual city, if they have a team, have been really showing out and showing up for their teams. I've also loved the amount of fans that have tuned in to the broadcast on YouTube and on CBS. There's been just an incredible amount of support. The exposure has been great. It's taking the sport to new heights. Obviously, this is absolutely historical, monumentous. This has never happened. And one of my favorite parts about all of this is the little girls that come to these games and watch the athletes on the floor and now have idols and role models in the States that tell them that they too can take this sport to the next level here in the United States and make a career of it.
Absolutely. I think that's really a bright spot of this whole thing. And Madison, for me, just to piggyback off of that point, we found out yesterday that our broadcast of the Valks' most recent match against San Diego had 93,000 views on YouTube and quite the following from Nutsara Tomcom's fans in her native Thailand. There were a lot of comments from folks in Thailand. So it's not just what it's doing domestically, but it has ramifications globally as well.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of respect that the sport deserves. It's such a fun sport. It deserves all of this viewership and all of the support. So I'm so excited that PVF can give that to people.
Well, you mentioned one of your favorite things was seeing all the little girls and how they have just glued themselves to not just the Valks, but all the teams here in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Has there been a particular moment that has stood out to you right here in Addition Financial Arena?
Well, Grand Rapids Rise came to Orlando to this arena, and the Valkyries won in 4. It was absolutely electric. The Valkyries put on a really good show here.
They sure did.
And the in-house crew does a really good job. Lights, music, there's a lot of fan interaction, and the Valkyries won that game, so that was definitely my favorite, and especially because the Rise, right now they're 4th in the league, so that was a really big win for them.
I thought you were going to say lights, camera, action for a second there. But I think similarly for me was when Orlando played Atlanta for the second time here on national TV. First of all, to have CBS Sports Network cover the Pro Volleyball Federation has been super cool. But secondly, when I looked up into the stands, not only was there a great crowd, but Madison, there were so many junior club players that were here and that had packed almost half of this stadium full. And just to see them and to hear them was really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely. There was a juniors tournament in Orlando during that time. So after they all played, they came and watched, and it's definitely motivating and inspiring for them. I agree.
Moving forward, we have the Pro Volleyball Federation playoffs. We've got Atlanta, Omaha, San Diego, and Grand Rapids. What do you think about what lies ahead in 1 week's time in Omaha?
I'm so excited. This is just the perfect climax to everything that's been happening throughout the season. There's been so many wins, so many losses, and teams have been kind of trading off wins and losses. Obviously, the front runner is Atlanta. They come in seeded #1. They've had a really successful season. I think they have the most well-rounded team. So they're the team to beat, but upsets can happen. And if you lose, you go home, and it's only one game. So who knows what's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to those matchups, obviously, with the 4 best in the league.
Yeah, and for me, it's just the defense, the defense, the defense. We've seen the pace of play here in the Pro Volleyball Federation. That was one of the most jarring things for me as a play-by-play guy, trying to fit in stories, trying to fit in commentary with the pace of play, but the defense has also just been unreal.
It's been one of the themes and the narratives throughout the entire season. I wish we could do a stop clock on the length of the rallies, because the defenses, they have such good reads on the ball. They're really fast, and it's the best defenders and the best liberos in the country and around the world. So it's been so much fun to watch. I completely agree.
All right, so we do know year 2 coming up, and we're going to blink our eyes. In January, we'll be here, and we'll be back with you here in Central Florida once again. Madison, what are you looking forward to as we move into the future in the Pro Volleyball Federation?
I'm looking forward to, and it's hard to even believe this, but see the level of talent grow. I mean, it's so incredible for year 1. The bar is set so high. The standard is so high. I can't wait to see how much talent keeps coming into the Federation. And then, like you mentioned before, adding new teams. We've got Dallas. What other teams are?
Kansas City and then Indianapolis are also joining the Pro Volleyball Federation.
So that's going to be fun to see how they work themselves into this narrative that's already forming.
Yeah, for sure. And I think in addition to just how we continue to utilize and harness Bolt 6 moving forward. First time I've seen that level of technology applied to volleyball, and it has been remarkable how decisive the calls have been.
It takes out the subjectivity of the call. It's exact, it's direct, it's quick. It's been such a perk to this federation.
So we've got our sights set on year 2 of the Pro Volleyball Federation. We're looking forward to a fun match here at Addition Financial Arena to close out year 1 for the Valkyries and for the Thrill. And Madison, I think one last thought. How about the fans who have been here religiously throughout the season?
From myself and Sean and everyone on the broadcast team and the players and the coaches, thank you so much. This sport is a blast, and I'm just so excited and happy that you all recognize that and that you show up for them. It goes a really long way.
Sounds good to me.
Omaha, Nebraska. Get ready for an electrifying weekend of pro volleyball action. The inaugural Pro Volleyball Federation Championship takes over CHI Health Center. The match for $1 million, May 15th and May 18th. Secure your ticket today.
NCAA women's volleyball will never be the same.
Let's play some volleyball, shall we? The Thrill and the Valkyries, one final time here this regular season. Let's introduce you to the starters. Peyton Caffrey, Berkeley Oblad, Alicia Glass-Childress, Hannah Maddox, McKenna Vicini, and Kat Bell are the starting 6, with Kylie Murr, the starting libero for Vegas. Meanwhile, for Orlando, it's Carly Graham, the starting setter, who will serve. Courtney Schwann, Michaela White, Ajani Teeler, Jill Gillen, and Kaz Brown, the rest of the starters for the Valkyries as we get underway at Addition Financial Arena. Hannah Maddox at the pin, number 11 for Vegas, has been a revelation this season in Pro Volleyball Federation play. Came from a mid-major school, Madison, and has really made a name for herself here.
Yeah, she's been absolutely incredible all season long. She's really springy, very athletic, and she leads the team a lot in kills.
Courtney Schwann induces that over dig, and there to put it away is Ajani Teeler, number 21 for Orlando.
And that is your job. If you're at the net, you man the net, and you take care of the overpass. Ajani Teeler just doing her job there.
Orlando and Las Vegas trading the first couple of points. Here's Kat Bell swinging away, number 1. Out of the middle, there's Michaela White. And she's called here in Orlando. Had a nice match just one match ago against San Diego. A very efficient showing for number 9 and a good start here. Here's Courtney Schwann, the newest Orlando Valkyrie, back to joust at the net. And Carly Graham pulls it out. Out of system ball, Teeler looking for the back corner. Won't find it, won't get a touch call either. Point, Las Vegas.
Ajani Teeler is one of those players that's really been stepping up when needed, filling in those gaps when needed, and she's been incredible late in this season.
Alicia Glass-Childress serves it in for Las Vegas, and there's a kill for Jill Gill, number 10 in white, who had a nice match of her own against San Diego and is on the board early.
Las Vegas thrill middle, Vicini just a little late to close that block. And Jill Gillen's got such a quick arm swing, such a fast snap on the ball, and she took advantage of that open gap.
Hannah Maddox takes the first ball contact, Vicini on the attack. Jill Gillen looking for another kill, not to be there. Kat Bell in transition. Teeler off speed. Second chance for Kat Bell, dug up by Jill Gillen. What an up! Out of the middle, Kaz Brown still up. We're still playing. White with the set to Teeler off the top of the block. Bell again, not to be. Into the net it goes. And a huge point for Orlando early. We have seen gritty rallies time and time again, and the first one of the night goes the Valkyries' way.
I mean, this has been such a theme throughout the Pro Volleyball Federation, the length of the rallies, because the defenses are just that elite. And both of these teams in general have some of the best defenses in the league. The Thrill, third in blocks. And I didn't want to talk during that rally, but the Valkyries also one of the best in the league in defense. Third in opponent hitting percentage. Georgia Murphy, their libero, second in the league in digs, and Kaz Brown, first in the league in blocks. So the offense, which team can put it away, is going to be a big aspect of this game.
Hannah Maddox with a kill off the block. Now she goes back to serve. 1 point first set, make it 2. Kaz Brown out of the middle, and when Orlando is in system, you have to imagine, Madison, that is exactly what the Valkyries want to do.
That needs to be the game plan almost every single time. Run through the middle when you're in system, and then free up those pins later in the match.
Teeler serves it in, Maddox jammed up. Kat Bell off balance, and a back row attack for Courtney Schwann. Peyton Caffrey takes her first swing, number 14. Vicini got a hand up there at the net. Knocks it back, here's Caffrey again, and the Orlando native has her first kill of the match.
Peyton Caffrey has such a whip of an arm, and she's extremely powerful. Out of system set, right to her shoulder, really well placed as a set, and then just driving it, dropping that pinky down the line.
Vicini serves it in. Kaz Brown on a tight slide. Vicini got a hand underneath it, but it falls to the floor nonetheless.
That set just a little too low for Kaz Brown, forcing her to tip it, but she put it to a good location and got the Thrill in a bit of a trouble defensively.
That sends Jill Gillen back to serve. Orlando leading at 6-4 early here in set 1. Back set, Bell, cross court.
Kat Bell in a one-on-one situation there. Oblad, middle for the Thrill, held Kaz Brown on her, freeing up.
So off the kill, Kat Bell goes back to serve. Back set to Kaz Brown, and number 11 in white has another kill here in this first set.
Kaz Brown is third in the league in hitting efficiency. She's so incredibly efficient. When that set is quick and to her shoulder, and you're going to see her run the slide quite often in this match.
Brown herself back to serve. Set to the pin, Caffrey off speed. Now to the backside, misconnection. Alicia Glass-Childress was looking to set up one of her middles, Berkeley Oblad, but not to be there.
Yep, that set just a little too far, pushed to the pin, a little too far outside of Oblad's body.
And so just like that, Orlando opens up a 3-point lead, 8-5. Caffrey takes first contact. Oblad on the slide, registers the kill.
Love it. I love that she decided to go back to her. She got her feet there, perfect position on the set, and Oblad took advantage. Oblad had a lot of success last time they played Orlando with 14 kills. She was just finding the floor.
Peyton Caffrey back to serve. It's a strong one. Hit Orlando with the jump topspin. Now she charges in for the dig. Maddox rejected. Out of system ball to Hannah. Turned back by the block once more. Bell will want a touch call. Won't get it. Point Orlando.
It's a good swing by Bell high. She was trying to find some fingertips. Just wasn't able to come up with it. A lot of the times you'll see errors at the beginning of the set more so than at the end of the match, and that's just because, you know, there's nerves, there's a lot of energy going into it.
9-6 Valkyries. Bump set to Maddox. Back set, Teeler rejected. Big block there for Las Vegas.
And beautiful blocking form by Maddox and Oblad. Oblad did a good job at closing that blocks, and Maddox rose into the air at the right time, pointed those palms towards the floor, and shoved it straight down.
Last time Las Vegas was here, Berkeley Oblad came in late, and Carly Graham took it over on 2. That's got MK White fired up. And Madison, Orlando's coaches really like Carly Graham. She's a crafty, toolsy type setter, and she knows exactly her own number.
Absolutely, and it's good to call your own number as a setter at the beginning of the set, establish it, and make those blockers respect you from the get-go.
I'll tell you what, Hannah Maddox is establishing that she is going to be an integral part of Las Vegas's offense. If you watch the thrill at all, you know that, but it's one thing to do it all season. It's another thing to come in and replicate those efforts that same given night. Teeler off speed. Caffrey back row, and Peyton Caffrey has another kill. Madison, I mentioned that she's an Orlando native, and I've been waiting all season long to say it. She is a Florida State Seminole, and not only that, she played with you on the beach.
She absolutely did. We were partners for the COVID season, and she is one of the most passionate and fiery individuals I have ever had the honor of playing with. And then she adds all that power behind it, and she's really difficult to stop.
There she goes again. Back row kill number 2 for Caffrey.
And it's power and it's placement from her. She's able to find the lines. You see it there, just painting that sideline. She's got a lot of control and manipulation over the ball.
Caffrey, the 2018 ACC Player of the Year as she transferred to Florida State out of West Virginia. She was an All-Big 12 player with the Mountaineers as well. Off speed, Orlando picks it up. Gillen turns it down the line and missed it. Point Las Vegas, they lead 11-10.
It was a good effort by the Valkyries, a really nice up by the libero, and then Jill Gillen did her best to transition off the net as quickly as she could, but that was a very tempo set. She had to speed up into that approach, and I think that may have caused the error.
Alicia Glass-Childress back to serve once more. Week 8 Pro Volleyball Federation Player of the Week, Alicia Glass-Childress. And Peyton Caffrey hit the deck. I'm not sure if she lost her footing or was just off balance in general, but no play made on that ball to the back corner.
There's always a chance she thought that ball was out. Sometimes you duck intentionally. I think maybe she thought that ball was out.
It does find the Terraflex, though, for Orlando, and they knot things up at 11. Maddox jammed up there on serve receive. Less than ideal here for Las Vegas on offense. Out to the pin go the Valkyries, and there's a challenge mid-rally.
And I believe the challenge is going to be that someone was in the net. We're pretty far away from the court, but I could see it move from here.
You got that 100%. That's the exact thought I was going to share. We're up here in the corner of the arena. And you are 1 for 1, Madison. Suzanne Lowry, our up official, confirming that that is in fact what Las Vegas and their head coach pictured on the right of your frame, Fran Flory, are wanting to take a look at. Flory, who is a decorated head coach at Louisiana State University, won a ton of games in the SEC, a fixture in the NCAA tournament. Madison, she decided that she was done coaching because, you know, the shifting tides of college athletics was one reason. Two, her mom wasn't doing very well health-wise, and she wanted to take care of mom, and so for all those reasons, she stepped aside, but this opportunity was too good to pass up.
Exactly, and you have to respect her knowing, you know, life is bigger than just volleyball. She understood that. She did what she needed to do for her family and for her mom, and now she got another opportunity to come to coach pro, which provides its own set of opportunities and challenges, and it's been great so far.
And she has sharp eyes as she had at LSU, calling the challenge there. There was, in fact, a net violation by Orlando, so the point goes to Las Vegas, who leads it 12-11. One final footnote on that, with Mother's Day approaching, worth mentioning that her mom unfortunately passed away right before the season began. And so we certainly know that her mom is looking down and smiling on her daughter, proud as ever as she watches Fran get after it here in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Back to the action, Peyton Caffrey on the attack as Johnny Teeler got to that all-out effort, but it ends up getting dug out of play. Point Las Vegas.
Las Vegas chipped away at an early Orlando lead and now has a lot of momentum on their side.
Orlando led by as many as 3, 9-6. And since then, Las Vegas has gone on a 7-2 run to lead it by 2. Here's Maddox back to serve. Set to the middle and Kaz Brown. Back set, back row Maddox, dug up by Murphy. Teeler with another kill. Vanderbilt's newest assistant coach, proving she can still play as well.
And Georgia Murphy with the great dig, nice angle on that platform, getting that pass to her setter, and then Teeler, when she's on top of that ball and she gets a full snap, she's extremely dynamic.
Orlando's back within 1. Kat Bell off the top of the block. Courtney Schwann got to it. And Jill Gillen turned back by this Las Vegas block. Madison, they come in averaging 2.7 blocks per set. That is second best in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Exactly, and then in total blocks, they're third best, but they're only 1 block behind San Diego. So they're a really solid blocking team pin to pin.
Already a couple of early blocks by the Thrill, who certainly are thrilled, leading by 2 midway, set 1. Overpass. Oblad tried to put it away, and the Valkyries send the free ball back to Las Vegas. Bell on the attack. That's a kill for number 1 in white. And Las Vegas leads by 3 midway through this opening set. That'll lead us to a midway media timeout here at Edition Financial Arena. The Thrill on the road, looking to close out their season with a win. Lead by 3 here in Central Florida.
Omaha, Nebraska, where champions rise and dreams come alive. Get ready for an electrifying weekend of pro volleyball action. The inaugural Pro Volleyball Federation Championship takes over CHI Health Center. Witness the top 4 teams of Pro Volleyball Federation battle it out for eternal glory and $1 million bonus. The match for $1 million, May 15th and May 18th. Secure your ticket today.
Not a lot of empty seats to be had as these 2 teams prepare to make history.
They go right back to her. Raynell Jones.
The first swing for Linehan results in a point for the Vibe.
Gillen! Off the edge of the block and down. Jose got the free ball and absolutely punished it.
Taylor Cruz off hands. A powerful swing.
Leah had been putting that ball down in Atlanta.
Slam home.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, here on YouTube with Las Vegas and Orlando. Closing the curtain on this regular season of Pro Volleyball Federation play. These 2 met early in the season. In fact, it was only Orlando's second home match when Las Vegas came to town. Now they're here once again as we conclude the midway media timeout. The Thrill leading by 3. They're hitting 210 as a team to Orlando's 170, Madison.
Exactly, and that's really what it comes down to. Who can finish the plays, especially when both of these teams are so elite defensively? Which team is going to finish the play and be the most efficient with that offense? 4
quality block touches for Las Vegas, 1 officially recorded for a point. Orlando looking to stem the Vegas momentum. Hannah Maddox, though, will have none of that. Number 11 has registered yet another kill.
And Hannah Maddox had a 3 block on her. All 3 of those front row blockers were in the air and pressed at the right time, and Hannah Maddox still found a way with that really fast arm swing.
Was already hitting north of 400 before that kill. Kaz Brown was roofed. Peyton Caffrey and Berkeley Oblad crashing in for the double block.
Peyton Caffrey was very disciplined in that block. You see the eye sequence, ready, fronting her, pressing at the right time, and turning those palms into the court.
So several kills and a block for Peyton Caffrey. This time beating the block, Jill Gillen. That'll feel good for Jill Gill, who stands at 5'7", but figures to be a giant in the volleyball world with how inspirational she is and how well she gets after it.
So many undersized pin attackers look up to Jill Gillen. She's got an incredible vertical. She's got great fire. She's got a lot of passion, and you're right, she's an inspiration to a lot of people.
She's played a tremendous brand of volleyball as Peyton Caffrey, who's one of the newcomers to this entire league. Just her 6th match of action has made a name for herself early in Vegas and early in this match. 5-point lead now for Las Vegas. Kat Bell will serve it in. It's a service error.
And if you're the Valkyries, you're very happy about that. That's a give-me point. You don't want the Thrill to get too much more of a lead as we get into that red zone.
Not the first error for either side here. Clean serving up until that point, and you'll take 1 combined error in the first 32 points all day, any day. On the slide, Berkeley Oblad. Point goes to Orlando. That was in the antenna.
I like that Glass Childress is really pushing the middles, trying to get them involved early, because usually their pin attackers, that outside pin attacker, and Kat Bell and Hannah Maddox are their 2 starts.
A service error by Kaz Brown. The point goes right back to Las Vegas, who leads by 4. Here's Caffrey, who hails from Chuliota, Florida, which is one of Orlando's many suburbs. She jams up Georgia Murphy on serve receive. On the run and on the attack is Ajani Teeler. And now here's Maddox transitioning at the pin and registering another kill.
Hannah Maddox has a wide arsenal of offensive weapons. You saw right there a push tip, really powerful behind that tip, because she uses all of that approach, all of that momentum to power through that tip.
The 5th kill on 10 swings for Hannah Maddox. Madison, when you look up and down this Las Vegas roster and what they've done to this point, who stands out the most in this first set?
In this first set, I would have to agree with what you just said. It's Hannah Maddox. She's extremely springy. She can make the best of any set as well. We've seen a couple sets that have died inside, but she's done a good job at using her approach, getting her feet there, and then swinging through the ball. We've also seen some power, some back row attacks, and we've seen really smart shots. She's got good court awareness, and she had a lot of success last match against Orlando. Just 2 matches ago, she had 17 kills, which is tied for the first on the team. So, yeah, she definitely stands out to me.
I think the thing that stands out to me digesting this first set, there's no mystery where Las Vegas is going, Madison. They have almost routinely and religiously set the pin, whether it's been Maddox or Peyton Caffrey. They've received a combined 17 sets. They've registered 9 kills. Maddox hitting 500, Caffrey hitting 560.
Exactly. Those 2 players are used to stepping up for their teams. They're used to getting fed the ball a lot. They look very comfortable as the leading point scorers for the team.
You just don't typically see that efficiency at the left pin, no less. Orlando's going to want to slow that down some way, somehow on the backside of this timeout, with Las Vegas entering the red zone in set 1. A net violation will help the cause. And Orlando is back within 4. Toomer laying out on serve receive. An opportunity here for Orlando. Back set to Taylor, off speed for the kill.
You have to use that. A standing down ball, which is pretty much a free ball at this level. Great first pass by Jill Gillen, controlling it. Right to Carly Graham, who gives a dime of a set to Ajani Taylor right to her shoulder, really pushing it out to her shoulder. And then Ajani Taylor, who is a bit undersized herself, has also got a wide arsenal of shots and used it.
4th kill on 10 swings in this first set for Ajani Taylor. Here's Hannah Maddox once again.
And from our vantage point, we're a little bit diagonal on the floor. I could really see that block was not all the way closed. And the attacker took advantage. MK White just a little slow to finish that block.
Berkeley Oblad serves it in. There's that Vegas block once again. Orlando keeps it up. Graham called her own number, induced the overdig, and MK White put it down.
Really well done by MK White. She was there, she was ready. She jumped up and did her job. I said it before at the beginning of the match, but that's her job, to man the overpass and take care of the overpass.
Courtney Schwann serves it in right there at the 10-foot line. Kat Bell beat the block, number 1 with another kill. That is her 3rd of this set.
And I like that play. The middle runs behind on a slide, and then they set the back row kind of right behind the middle, running on that slide. Really tricky for the defense.
Out to the pin, Gillen turned back. Second effort for Jill Gillen. And a point to Orlando.
But really early on, we do see why the Thrill is one of the best in the league at blocking. They're getting a lot of block touches. They're funneling it really nicely to their defenders. They're blocking a lot of balls.
Orlando brings Carly Scott in to serve here, down 3 in this first set. It's largely what they did to start the season. Scott has earned a couple handfuls of starts and increased playing time since, but back in the serving sub back row work kind of role here in this first set. She serves Maddox in the corner. Bell now at the pin registers another kill.
And there's no question why Kat Bell leads the team in kills. She's very powerful. She's got a long approach. You see her there with her arm swing, really using her arms to get up into the air and then contacting it at a very high point over the net.
Vegas 2 points away from the set, and there's the service error.
We talk about it a lot on the broadcast. The jump topspin is a high-risk, high-reward serve. A lot of things have to go right behind the service line to get that ball over the net and to try and get an ace. High-risk, high-reward, though. If you get it over, a lot of the times it gets the serve-receive in a bit of a trouble.
Paula Sarame will come in to serve the DS for Orlando. There's Caffrey. Will she get a touch? No. Point Orlando, they're within 2. And a timeout on the floor called by Fran Flory. A tight first set as we head into the red zone. We'll take a timeout with Vegas and be back after these messages.
From club or high school courts to championship arenas, Spalding has been the trusted partner of volleyball players for generations. Our team of dedicated professionals isn't just about selling equipment, we're about supporting your journey. Spalding offers a comprehensive range of high-performance systems, nets, and accessories meticulously crafted for every skill level, budget, and playing style. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Spalding's knowledgeable staff will guide you, equip you, and cheer you on every step of the way.
The teams have broken their respective huddles, and we are moving ever closer to the conclusion of set 1 here in Orlando. Paula Sarame remains back to serve for the homestanding Valkyries in this, their regular season finale. And it's an ace serve for Sarame.
Paula Sarame is a spark plug. She's one of those players that can come into the game and make an immediate impact.
The first ace for either side. It's Sarame who delivers it, and the Valkyries are back within one. There it is again, excuse me. How about that? Just sniping at the angle.
Big time play in a big time situation. That's what makes a player great. All the pressure on her. It gets quiet in the gym, and she delivers 2 aces back to back.
Once again, targeting Maddox. This time, Maddox passes it up. Off speed, picked up by Murphy. Out to the pin, Gillen tools the block for the kill. Set point coming for Orlando.
Great dig by Georgia Murphy, who's just steady back there, keeping the play alive. And Jill Gillen with that fast arm swing, swiping it off the hands of the right side blocker. Now that is a red zone comeback.
Timeout, Las Vegas. The Sarame aces had me speaking a language that I don't know has been invented yet. I was over there going gibberish on you. And this comeback by Orlando will just take your breath away, Madison.
Yeah, we've seen that from Paula Sarame a few times before. She can come into the game and make some really big time digs and slowly but surely get the team back into it. So she brings that kind of level of play, and she also brings fire and confidence to her team. And the arena absolutely loves it. It seems like there's a bit of a home court advantage right now.
And what a smart swing by Jill Gillen there to bring up set point.
Especially because both blockers were on her. She feel them both pressed and up. At that point, Kat Bell really should have tried to funnel it back into the court by dropping that pinky and angling her palms into the court. But sometimes it doesn't go your way, and Jill Gillen took advantage.
And it's still Sarame back to serve, with Orlando now holding set point. That's over the back. And so the timeout works to Las Vegas's favor. We will go beyond 25 to win a set. It's first to 25, win by 2, tied at 24. Nobody's going to win by 2 at 25, so we'll keep playing. Best 3 out of 5 sets win the match. If we get to a fifth, it's first to 15, win by 2. Vicini serves it in for Vegas. Back set, Brown! Holy cow!
Good decision by Carly Graham. Set your most efficient attacker. And that is Kaz Brown on the slide. Look at the timing, perfect timing. It's really quick. And then she goes right down the line, dropping that thumb and drilling it to the line.
Gillen serves it in. It's a trickle ace! And Orlando storms back from behind to claim set one, 26-24.
3 aces after they got to 20. That is so clutch, and good for them being aggressive and getting it in the court. Fantastic push and fight at the end for the Valkyries.
An Orlando team that has struggled to close sets this season flips the script in set number 1, winning it 26-24 from behind. The Valkyries lead 1-0. We'll step aside and be back after these messages.
Omaha, Nebraska, where champions rise and dreams come alive. Get ready for an electrifying weekend of pro volleyball action. The inaugural Pro Volleyball Federation Championship takes over CHI Health Center. Witness the top 4 teams of Pro Volleyball Federation battle it out for eternal glory and a $1 million bonus. The match for $1 million, May 15th and May 18th. Secure your ticket today. Pro Volleyball Federation, where every action carries the weight of passion and pride. There's a select group that rises above the rest. 23 athletes of the Pro Volleyball Federation are past or current members of the USA Women's National Volleyball Team, each a testament to dedication, skill, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Pro Volleyball Federation, building champions and making dreams a reality.
Saved by Valentine Anderson, who does it again, somehow wrapping around the side of the net to save that. Some amazing volleyball.
Well, well, well. What a plot twist at the end of set one. Peyton Caffrey serves it in to get set two underway. Jill Gillen on the attack, dug up by Murr. Maddox dug up and over by Carly Graham. Joust at the net. Vegas pulls it out. Maddox turned back. Orlando still without an official block, and this time Maddox beats the double block by the Valkyries to register the first point of set two. While we got a second, Madison, if you look at the numbers from set one, you wouldn't have thought Orlando would have won it, but there's two key words I'm going to throw at you. Service pressure.
Service pressure is right. Service pressure, ability to close at the end of a set, and fire to come back from behind. Statistically, you're right. Vegas did better, but Orlando had those three key things, and that's what led to that win.
3 out of the Valkyries' final 5 points of set one were ace serves, 2 by Sarame, 1 by Jill Gillen. Good offense there by Orlando, running the middle to notch their first point of set two. It sends Courtney Schwann back to serve. That's long. Six confirming it wasn't particularly close. Back to the middle goes Orlando. There's MK White once again.
Michaela White and Cass Brown are both in the top 10 of hitting efficiency in the league. When they get set, most of the time, it ends up in a kill. The timing was there. Michaela White snapped at a really high point over the net and put it in the right spot.
Michaela White, who comes into today's match a couple of points shy of 300 in her season-long hitting percentage. Hit north of 400 against San Diego. 8 kills on 17 swings. And there is yet another kill for Hannah Maddox. Coming back the other way for Las Vegas. Point there being MK White has been trending in this kind of fashion for some time, and Hannah Maddox is doing what she has done all season. Teeler off the touch. Caffrey tries to track it down, but can't. Another kill for Ajani Teeler.
Good swing by Ajani Teeler and really good placement. She gets up nice and high, snaps on that ball at a very high point. And that ball shanked just a little too close to the bench, and I don't think Peyton Caffrey could get there or wanted to lay out to it close to that bench.
A double-double for Teeler against San Diego. 13 kills, 15 digs. She goes back to serve. Schwann lays out and gets to it there on defense. Peyton Caffrey doing the same. Now here's Kat Bell cross-court, dug up by Murphy. Gillen. Out a system ball to Bell. That's tight to the net. It came in outside the antenna. Point Orlando.
And there's really not much you can do there. If you're Kat Bell, that's set just too far outside the antenna. No way to turn that really back in.
So Teeler stays back to serve. The Valkyries leading 4-3, up a set, 26-24 in set one. Well, once again. Now here's Gillen. And Jill Gillen splits the seam of that double block and pounds it to the Terraflex for a kill.
We've got a lot of very quick outside pin attackers here today. Jill Gillen is one of them. She's got such a fast approach, and she really uses it to power through the ball.
Both of these teams really setting the pin here in set 2. Orlando's also gotten it to MK White a couple of times. But back they go to Gillen. Back set Maddox. And that's inside the block. She beat Kaz Brown. And that is another kill for number 11 for Vegas. That'll be her 9th.
Her 9th and hitting well over 500. So far a very efficient and effective attacking game for Maddox.
There she goes with the jump top spin. Quick set to the back row and Schwann. Big swing out there from the right pin. That goes well long.
And that was a tough set for Kat Bell to get her feet there. It dropped a bit inside, and as a right side attacker, of course, you would love for that set to be just a little bit farther across your body and onto your shoulder. She really had to work to get there and just couldn't turn it back into the court.
Kat Bell, who was a pro, had played for 7 organizations in 5 different countries over the last 8 years, goes off speed this time over the block. Kaz Brown on the slide. And there's Maddox once again, and she has proven to be virtually unstoppable. Doesn't matter where she is on the court, she has threaded and beaten the Orlando block time and time again.
She's got a laser beam of a swing, just sniping it right to that sideline.
That sends McKenna Vicini back to serve. Overpass, and Bell puts it away for Vegas.
I like to call that as an assist to Vicini. I know that's not statistically correct, but she caused that overpass with that aggressive serve.
She'll stay back to serve. That's a service error for Vicini, who will sub off the floor for Kylie Murr. An outstanding libero for Las Vegas. Murr, number 4, selected 17th overall in the Pro Volleyball Federation draft, number 2 in the Federation in digs per set, nearly 4. That's a service error coming back Vegas's way. That'll knock things up at 7.
Both teams really going for it on their serves. I mean, we saw from the set 1 how much of an impact aggressive serving can do to a game, and both teams really trying to amp it up here.
Back row Gillen off the edge of the block. Maddox off balance, has to attack it, and that finds the floor.
And that's absolutely incredible. She is so athletic and dynamic. She didn't even have an approach. She wasn't even moving forward. She was almost stumbling back to get her feet there, and she still found the floor.
And folks, I mentioned this earlier briefly, but in college volleyball, where you associate high-end volleyball being in the Big Ten, maybe the Pac-12, which I know the Pac-12 is going to be a thing of the past here relatively soon. Hannah Maddox, South Alabama, repping the Sun Belt here in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
Absolutely, it's kind of an underdog story. I don't want to say 0 to hero, but it really is a come from behind and just take control on such a big stage. It's been absolutely incredible to watch.
Orlando comes back the other way with MK White, and MK White didn't play Big Ten volleyball either. She went to James Madison University.
That's one of the best parts about the Federation is it provides an opportunity for these incredible athletes who just played at smaller schools. They still get noticed, and they still play on these really big stages.
White won 2 conference titles at James Madison. Then went on to a 3-year pro career before coming back stateside. There's a Johnny Teeler with yet another kill. This time off the touch. Teeler, number 21, looks to be on a heater once again.
That's a Johnny Teeler 6th kill of the match so far.
6th kill on 12 swings, hitting north of 300 from the opposite pin. Strong serve. Schwann turned back, and that is out. No, it's in play. Schwann celebrated for a second, but it did catch the sideline.
Oblad did a lot of work right there to close that block. She really had to speed up. It was a quick set, so she moved as fast as she could along the net and got there.
All right, there you go. So it is point Orlando. That would be why Schwann is celebrating. Our officials pointed toward Vegas, which, you know what, after a long season, you might just point the finger the wrong direction every now and then, but they have done a tremendous job. Suzanne Lowry, Brianna Spain, 2 of the best, and there is an ace serve.
The fourth for the Valkyries, and we're only in set 2. This serve, a little dropper just right in front of the serve-receive line. There was a lot of movement on that ball, and it dropped at the last second.
Graham floats it in short. Here's Caffrey on the attack. She'll want a touch call. She won't get it. Point Orlando, and the Valkyries are on a run.
And it all starts with that service pressure, causing a little bit of chaos on that serve-receive line.
4 aces to 4 errors. Orlando, one of the better serving team, at least in terms of aces. As Alicia Glass-Childress calls her own number, tried to take it over on 2. Teeler hammers that off the block. That's dug over. A joust at the net. We got a whistle and a net violation against Vegas. Point Orlando.
That was a good dig by Vegas libero Murr.
Yes.
Really solid quick twitch dig. Got her platform underneath it, but it just didn't go their way.
4-point lead now for the Valkyries. And it's still Graham back to serve. That barely cleared the tape. Quick set to the pin, and Caffrey sides out for Vegas.
And that's what Caffrey was trying to do a couple swings ago, is grab those fingertips of the opposing block. She did it right there. She's really good at tooling the block and swiping it off their arms.
Kill number 5 on 10 swings for Caffrey. A couple of errors, and now a service error.
Peyton Caffrey is one of those players that does have a high-risk, high-reward serve. It comes with a lot of heat behind it, but it's easier to error with that topspin. The toss has to be there, the snap has to be there, the timing has to be there. It's a difficult serve.
Courtney Schwann back to serve. On the slide, Oblad down the line, dug up by Murphy. Back row, Schwann. There's Maddox, dug up by Murphy and dug out of play.
Good effort by Ajani Teeler. Going over to the other side of the net, that is legal, trying to keep it in play, but just wasn't able to come up with it. But that is the kind of scrappiness and all-out effort that, as a coach, you really want to see.
She about chased that ball out to the football stadium here at UCF. They call it the bounce house, and each of these teams have been bouncing balls here this afternoon. Might want to consider calling that fire arena the bounce house as well. Out of the middle, there's MK White. Little chaos at the net. Graham sets Gillen at the pin, turned back, White pushes it back over. Maddox off speed over the block and down.
Maddox has such solid court awareness. She drilled a bunch deep with all of that power behind those swings, some nice deep swings, and then she just dropped one right over the blocker because she could feel the defense on their heels from all those powerful swings.
It sends Berkeley Oblad, the Henderson, Nevada native, back to serve. Gillen off the top of the block. Oblad charges up and covers. And there's Maddox tooling the block, much like Jill Gillen did late set 1. And sending it screaming out of play off of Orlando. 1 point, second set. Teeler off speed. Picked up by Glass-Childress. Out of system ball to Maddox. Dug up by Gillen. Out of the middle, MK White had it turned back into the floor. We're tied at 14.
Puccini did a really good job at staying on MK White, tracking her, following her along the net, and then dropping those arms into that angle, sealing off the net.
Another serve for Oblad. Gillen turn back. Orlando keeps it up this time. Teeler this time rolling it over the block. Out of system for Maddox. Passed up by Schwann. High reach, Gillen off speed. And now Maddox back the other way down the line. Dug up by Graham. And MK White just tipped it over the net. Like a setter calling her own number on 2. White just snapped the wrist, and Orlando leads midway set 2.
Yeah, I want to call that a setter dump from Michaela White. Looking like she was about to take it, set it, and then boop, with her right hand, a little roll shot to that campfire zone. Really smart by MK White.
So White and Orlando certainly happy to see that. They lead by 1, up 1 set to none here in Orlando.
Saved by Valentine Anderson, who does it again somehow. for some amazing volleyball.
Abbott gets the running start, crams it down. So impressive.
Set back. Pittman, the new starter, making an impact.
Some folks that teach the younger ones how to be a pro.
Adora Anai is effective from every single area of the court.
Set. That is number 8 for Lecator member Monet.
Cleveland with the kill. Abbott had to reach for it, blocked, and that'll do it. What a fun match this has been. Back and forth in the first, back and forth in the second. And Orlando leading 1-0, leads this set by 1 midway through set 2. Sean Davison, the beach volleyball All-American at Florida State. Madison Fitzpatrick here with you as we close the curtain on the regular season here in Orlando. The Valkyries trying to finish it off on the right foot with a dub in the column. They've lost their last 8. It's been a tough stretch, Madison, for the Valkyries, but you have to love the fight you see out of them here tonight.
And that's one of the things that Coach Amy Pauley said before the match is she's really proud of the grit and the fight that they put forth every single match, win or lose.
Well, that is the first error as it stands on the night for Hannah Maddox, and Denise Corlett has pressed the challenge button. You have to imagine that Fran Flory and the coaches over on the Vegas side think that the Orlando block touched that ball on its way out. You get 7 seconds to press the challenge button. And as I mentioned, Vegas challenging that the block touch that ball on its way out as it stands on the floor, called Point Orlando and no touch. 22 high-definition cameras around Edition Financial Arena, provided by Bolt 6, and that's what makes them so dadgum cool. You can zoom in, you can slow it down, and you can tell definitively, Madison, no block touch.
It's great. It takes out the subjectivity of the call. It's exact. It's immediate. And if you get the challenge right, one of my favorite parts is that you get the challenge back, so you're rewarded for making the right call. But here, that wasn't the case.
So Las Vegas loses a challenge for the balance of this set. You get 2 every set, though, so they'll just have to try to manage the rest of this set with only 1. No touch there either, Point Orlando.
Get that set just dying a little too far inside. Maddox had to do a lot of work to get her feet there. Trying to grab the top fingertips, but wasn't able to come up with anything.
Okay, White serves it in once more. Overpass, and you can't have that if you're Orlando. You look at overpasses as opportunities to really punish a ball over an open net, and that is the exact opposite of what took place right there.
Yep, overpasses should be gimme points, and they are targeting Hannah Maddox and been doing a really good job at it. There, just the communication fell through.
And Orlando says we'll make up for the miscue by running the middle. Perfect offense there for the Valkyries. It opens up Kaz Brown, who wastes no time putting that one to the floor.
And that's Kaz Brown's first kill of this set, making it count. Right to middle back, she comes in really fast and high.
Three-point lead for the Valkyries here in set 2. And there is Hannah Maddox once again.
They're targeting Hannah Maddox because they've had some success with it. There they were targeting her to try and take her out of the offense, but she said no. She got the tool and the point.
And off the block and out of play, Jill Gillen responds with a kill of her own.
It's really impressive when a 5'7" outside attacker can hit high off the hands of the blocker. She has such an incredible vertical.
Caffrey takes it on first contact, now in transition. Joust at the net, Graham digs it out. Orlando will send the free ball over. Out of the middle, there is Vicini with the kill.
Smart set. They really push the pace there. Nice low pass right to the setter. I always say in my head, when you get a free ball, you have to capitalize, and they did right there. Puccini dropping her thumb, hitting down her body.
Orlando goes back to the pin. There's Courtney Schwann, who has quietly done some really solid work in the back row. That, I believe, Madison, is her first kill of this match.
Yep, she's really a lead as a back row defender. She's got a really good read on the ball, which makes her a solid 6 rotation player. She's coming off of 19 digs. She actually led the team in digs last match.
With that, Orlando enters the red zone leading by 3. Gabby Gonzalez takes it on first contact. Kat Bell goes down the line. Back in transition, there's Schwann. Caffrey turned back. Boy, Orlando's been looking for a block like that for the better part of this match.
And take a look at this. Carly Graham up in the air by herself, but then dropping her hands into the angle, sealing off that angle swing.
4-point lead for Orlando. Back set, Bell off the block. Orlando's out of system. Schwann gets it over. Oblad off speed. Schwann again, this time tools the block for a kill. A couple of kills now for number 24. Courtney Schwann, a player added to the roster after the departure of Shina Joseph to the Canadian national team. She has made an impact, not just on this team, but in this match now in set 2. The Valks leading by 5. The slide, bam!
Good set by Havili for Molly McCage.
There goes over, handled there, at the net. It sets up perfectly. Dimitrova lands it with the right hand.
Serve and an ace. Taylor Cruz at 18 on the year.
Back throw attack, count it. Courtney Lush, Evans, why not? Story too. We got a clerk. Welcome back to Edition Financial Arena on the campus of the University of Central Florida. The final week of Pro Volleyball Federation play, the Thrill taking on the Valkyries here in each team's final match of the season. And there's Courtney Schwann once again with Michaela White tipping that ball to the floor. It is going all Orlando's way. Late not only in set 1, but now Madison in set 2.
And really, it comes down to service pressure. That's the reason they came back in set 1, and they have really solid service pressure right now. The serve-receive line is kind of cranking those passes a little off the net, and Glass Childress is having to come off the net to the 10-foot line to set those balls.
And Orlando's back row has been really solid. There's Jill Gillen digging up Peyton Caffrey. Caffrey will swing again, this time off speed, picked up by Carly Scott. Off speed, there's Gillen. Number 10 for Orlando. Unconventional though it may look, finds the floor off speed from the back row.
And check out this hang time from Jill Gillen, who just sees the court so well. She's got such good court vision. She's been playing 6 rotations since college, since high school, so she's very comfortable attacking from that back row.
And just like that, the Valkyries have set points. Out of the middle, Oblad turned back, still up with Vegas. Bell off the Orlando block and back to Vegas once again. Caffrey sides out with a kill.
That's Caffrey's bread and butter. If the block isn't closed and there's a little bit of a seam, she'll crank it hard and fast through that open hole.
Orlando just a side out away from taking a 2-0 lead into the intermission. It'll be Kat Bell to serve it in for Las Vegas. Sarame takes it on first contact. Graham on the run for Schwann. And that will put an end to set 2. Orlando wins the first 2 sets over the Thrill tonight.
Really good first contact on that ball. Nice, smooth. They've had a lot of three passes. They're controlling that first contact really well from the Valkyries. The service pressure was there. The attack was there. Extremely efficient on offense. All around solid game for the Valkyries.
Still plenty of work to do on the backside of this intermission, but for a team that's lost 8 straight, you know this start has to feel especially good tonight. We'll be back with more at the intermission after this. Here at the intermission in Orlando, Florida, we'll take a look at some of the key stats in this match to this point, Madison. And I think the biggest things that stood out to me on that page there were the 4 aces for Orlando. We knew Vegas was going to block the living daylight out of the volleyball, but I think the service pressure for Orlando induced some really bad first contact at times for Vegas and generated those 17 errors.
Exactly. The service pressure is really what put them over the edge and gave them that win. The Thrill serve-receive line was kind of rising up with their passes, and then the passes were floating off the net. Glass Childress is such an elite setter, but she was having to come off the net and then find her attacker's arm, so that was pretty difficult for her. And then on top of that, hitting efficiency. That stands out to me as well. In set 2, the Valks hit 330. The Thrill hit 160, so the Valkyries just did a better job at taking care of the ball.
And you can take care of the ball when you get clean first contact. And as you mentioned, Madison, just not enough of that to this point for Las Vegas so far. Still time for the Thrill to make a comeback. The Valkyries, though, 1 set away from winning their 8th match of the season. More at the intermission after this.
and win it here in the Pro Volleyball Federation.
The higher the level, it means more power.
Elector member Mene. Wow, what a shot. Again.
Rejected! Ronica Stone!
Get tightened up. They progress through that season, and you cannot progress through that solo block in the middle from Kaz Brown.
Laura, deep corner, and that was picked perfectly. Saved by Valentine Anderson, who does it again, somehow wrapping around the side of the net to save that. Some amazing volleyball.
The wait is finally over. A concept years in the making becomes a reality tonight.
We have stars that are sure to make a splash in terms of heads.
There are stars everywhere you look.
No secret that tonight is going to be epic.
Prepare to make history. And we are underway. And what a start. And a serve for Wiley. Picks out Nunaviller.
Just so
Back here at Edition Financial Arena at the intermission. Madison, one thought that we didn't bring up in our last little segment, Carly Graham, what has she not done today? 24 assists, 7 digs, a solo stuff, a setter dump, and an ace.
She's been spreading out the offense really well, and she's doing a good job at digging Maddox down her line. But here we see Hannah Maddox, who really doesn't get slowed down very often. She attacks from the front row, from the back row, and then you see her there with that really fast snap and really quick arm swing. She's able to place the ball anywhere she wants. She's got a lot of manipulation over it, and then she does a good job at setting the block for her middles to come to her. She's got a wide arsenal of shots there. You see the tip right over the block, so she's got the power and she's got the tip. She's got good court awareness and court placement. And then on the other side, we see Jill Gillen, who's been a rising superstar for the Valkyries throughout the season. She's only 5'7", but she rises into the air, can touch 10 feet at times, and you see her there coming up big as a 6 rotation player from the service line. She says maybe that was she was sweating or she was glad the ball went over, but she's been fantastic throughout this set, and it's a big reason the Valkyries have been winning.
Omaha, Nebraska. Get ready for an electrifying weekend of pro volleyball action. The inaugural Pro Volleyball Federation Championship takes over CHI Health Center. The match for $1 million, May 15th and May 18th. Secure your ticket today.
NCAA women's volleyball will never be the same. Students of the game will study this era for generations. But we're only getting started. Sign up for pre-sale, news, and more at ncaa.com/volleyball.
Well, as the kids these days say, this place is a vibe, and the Orlando fans have enjoyed what they've seen in sets 1 and 2. And there's a young fan wearing some Orlando Valkyries swag. And folks, if you're tuning in and rooting on the Valkyries, it's not too late. You can still get your own 2024 inaugural season team gear by logging on to orlandovalkyries.com for all your Valks merchandise needs. And be on the lookout for 2025 merchandise throughout the summer. That's orlandovalkyries.com for all of your Orlando Valkyries merchandise needs. Madison, you and I made a visit to the stand. They've got t-shirts in every conceivable color. They just unveiled their mascot, Val. So now they've got new t-shirts with Val the Valkyrie on them. A lot of really good stuff, both in the arena and online.
Absolutely. I got a light pink hat, a light blue hat. If you're a girl, they've got crop top sweatshirts, which look really cute when they're on your body. So there's a ton of options for females and men.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I myself steered clear of the crop top sweatshirt, I will say. And I think America will thank me. We're back underway here in set number 3. And there's Hannah Maddox going off speed. Here's Courtney Schwann with the swing at the pin for Orlando, number 24. And there's Maddox once again registering yet another kill for Las Vegas.
We got a good little highlight reel of her throughout the break, and it really does show you how dynamic she is. She has every single shot in the book.
15 kills for Hannah Maddox. And Johnny Teeler looking for another of her own. She'll get it. Number 21 in white for Orlando, who got the start today, has kill number 7. That sends Schwann back to serve. Maddox looking cross court. Won't get the touch call. An error for Hannah Maddox, who has just a couple to this point in the match, still hitting nearly 500. As Schwann goes back to serve once more. Caffrey takes it on first contact. Schwann covers, and that's over. Out of the middle, there's Schwann again. And Graham shots it to the back corner for the kill. Carly Graham will get the credit for the kill, but tip the cap to Courtney Schwann on D.
I mean, that was such a good dig, and Carly Graham earlier in that play dug a really fast line swing from Maddox. Carly Graham gets that point. Really good placement on the setter dump.
Schwann serves once more. This time Graham comes crashing in. Out of system ball to Teeler off the block and down. A strong service rotation for Courtney Schwann, who joins Orlando from Europe. The University of Washington Husky, who has solidified things at the pin. And it's worth mentioning that Adora Anai has dealt with some injury issues here of late. This is not a benching of any sort by Amy Pauley. Courtney Schwann has just stepped in where she was needed, and she stepped up. There's an ace.
What a great placement by Schwann, right down to that line, just dropping right before it goes out. And back to Adora Nye really quickly. She's at the top of the league in kills and digs. She's an all-around superstar and such a leader for the Valkyries.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. As Las Vegas sides out there, Adora Anai is a franchise player here in Orlando, one of the leading point scorers in the entire federation. Her not being on the floor is not something Orlando just wants to do.
But you know she's leading from the sideline. I actually saw her talking to some starters in between sets. She's a leader on and off the court.
Absolutely. Hannah Maddox stepping up on D, turning that ball back to the floor. And after that flurry of points by Orlando, Las Vegas, who must win this set, fighting back here early in set 3. Out of the middle, there's MK White. Boy, Orlando's first ball contact, whether it's been when they've served or when they've picked up a ball on serve receive, has been as good as I've seen it in some time, Madison.
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's really clean and it's right to their setter, and Carly Graham's had all of her options open every single time because of that first ball contact.
There takes that one on first, and Graham calls her own number on 2. Kat Bell sides out for Las Vegas, tooling the block for the kill. That'll be kill number 8 for Kat here in this match. She did not play against Orlando when Las Vegas came here the first time. And didn't really do a whole lot offensively in their last meeting either. There's Gillen in the campfire, and Jill Gillen has another kill.
And that's what it takes when you're an undersized player. You have to have a wide arsenal of shots, and she has it all. She elects to go for that campfire shot, like you said, feeling the defense on their heels.
My bad. Looking at Kat Bell, I think I was reading something incorrectly. She's gone off the last 2 times that Vegas has played Orlando. I think I read somebody else's stat line for a second. 17 and 22 in the last 2 matchups against the Valkyries. That's the opposite of me saying she hadn't done much the last time.
Yep, her and Hannah Maddox tied for leaders in kills in that last match that they met the Valkyries.
My bad, Kat. 4-point lead for Orlando, make it 3 off the service error. These teams swapping sides. Orlando now right serving left. Vegas and McKenna Vicini left serving right. Jill Gillen facing the double block. Here's Caffrey.
A lot of credit to Oblad, middle blocker for the Thrill, on getting a really solid block touch, slowing down that attack and allowing her team to recycle it and have a chance to score.
That has been something that has gone well for Las Vegas so far, as Gillen threads the needle for another kill.
And that one, Oblad just a little late to close. Jill Gillen took advantage of that open seam.
Just going back to Vegas, 7 blocks so far. 11 quality block touches, and this time Orlando gets in on the act.
And if you're a young middle blocker and you're watching Cass Brown block, take notes. She's the leading blocker in the league, and here's why. Reaching, diving her arms into that open seam and then turning her palms back into the court.
Glass Childress had to retreat almost to the end line to set that ball. Opportunity for Schwann, and she takes advantage.
Yep, we've seen that from Glass Childress a lot in this match. The pass is just coming too far off the net. She's having to scramble to get it to her attackers. And then Schwann swiping it off the outside arm of Kat Bell.
She's been running all over Las Vegas' side of the net. I'd be curious to see how many steps she's gotten in by night's end. 5-point lead for Orlando, who has swept Columbus in Columbus, but has not registered a sweep at home. Interesting thought there. There's Schwann. Staring Saskia Hippe in the face and going cross for the kill.
And there's an angle from Schwann that we haven't seen yet so far in this match. Dropping that thumb, making it really sharp, finding the floor where no defender is.
Saskia Hippe checking in for the first time in this match. There's Caffrey, and that's a heat-seeking missile. We saw that time and time again in her career as a Seminole. She's also played internationally in Israel, in Greece, in Turkey, in Puerto Rico a couple of different times. In fact, one of her stints in Puerto Rico, she played for Angel Perez, who is now the head coach of the Columbus Fury. Schwann rolls it over. Here's Caffrey, high reach, off speed, and there's another kill for Caffrey. And I'll say this, Madison, going back to her college career, I think this is the element of what Caffrey does that we didn't see as much of at Florida State. She was the Terminator who routinely dropped the hammer in Tallahassee. Now we're seeing her mix in some of that off speed as well.
Yeah, I think that her pro experience has given her maybe more of those reps to feel comfortable with those off-speed shots, but you're right, we rarely saw a roll shot or a tip in her college career. She was all power, but that's how experienced she is now, able to mix it up.
I'll tell you who's showing power now, Courtney Schwann, going cross once again.
Hey, if it works, do it again until they stop you. Nice tempo set from Carly Graham. And then Schwann just rising up into it, dropping that thumb. Great location by her.
Orlando continues to lead by 5 as we approach the midway point of set 3. Hippe rises and fires. Perfect pass to Graham. Schwann off speed. There's another kill for number 24 in white.
And that's how you do it right there. You drill a couple sharp cross court, and then you mix it up. You give them an off-speed shot. You give the defense a different look. You see how they react. And right there, they were on their heels and not expecting it because she had drilled those first 2.
The lead up to 6 for Orlando. There's Conrad, the towel guy, making his way off the floor. That guy's developed quite the social media following this season. Oblad off a tight slide. Caffrey off the block. There's another kill for number 14. That'll take Caffrey into double digits in this match. She's hitting north of 300 as well.
And there is the Valkyrie spirit animal, it seems.
I don't think he is officially part of what they call their hype squad, but he has added himself to the hype squad here at Addition Financial Arena. And MK White might as well add herself to the hype squad as well.
I love that decision from Carly Graham. Great first contact, and then Carly Graham facing the net, taking that set kind of sideways and still finding MK White's hand. All she had to do was snap on that ball. She did a good job at identifying the block and swinging away.
Midway, set 3, Orlando leads by 6.
The wait is finally over. A concept years in the making becomes a reality tonight.
We have stars that are sure to make a splash in terms of heads.
There are stars everywhere you look.
No secret that tonight is going to be epic.
Prepare to make history. And we are underway. And what a start. An ace serve for Wiley. Picks out Nona Miller.
Just so...
We are in the heart of the inaugural season of the Pro Volleyball Federation as we get started here tonight. Hanamatics from the 10-foot line. Hold on, that was powerful.
Oh my goodness, over her back. Gillen again. Goodness, Jill Gillen is a spike specialist.
Asia O'Neal.
The big attack there in a block from Hannah Tatt.
Reagan Cooper slams it home on the back line.
And there's another step block.
Well, if you're an Orlando native and you like what you see on YouTube tonight, you might want to come back next season. Pro Volleyball Federation confirmed for 2025. But while we're at it, the Valkyries would like to extend a special thank you to all those who have tuned into these broadcasts, attended matches here at AdFi, and supported the team of the Pro Volleyball Federation during this history-making inaugural season. The outcome on the court certainly isn't what Orlando had hoped for, but they're so thankful that you are here and invested in tuning in and buying tickets, and they know the future is bright, even though that was a nice swing there for Saskia Hippe in Las Vegas to stem the momentum. But moving forward, for more information on the 2025 season and how you can become a season ticket holder or a sponsor, you can log on to OrlandoValkyries.com. That's OrlandoValkyries.com. Lead down to 5 for the Valks, who are looking to sweep it home for the first time this season. And there's MK White off speed. That's good enough.
And I like that White swung at Oblad. A fellow middle on the opposite side of the net was playing defense, and she just took a nice right in front of her swing, kind of high at Oblad's chest, and it paid off.
Schwann serves Caffrey. Back set, Hippe off the block. Hippe, who started a good number of Las Vegas's matches early on this season, has not played quite as often since. One of their 2 international players from Germany, 18 years as a professional and now playing stateside. MK White won't get the touch call off that block. That's wide, and that's point Vegas.
And that's MK White's first error of the entire match. She's got 9 kills, hitting .560, so you can definitely forgive that error because she's been pretty flawless.
Back to White and back to back to what's been routine for MK White here over these last few matches. Man, Carly Graham is doing a really nice job of running the middle here tonight.
Absolutely, and you would like the opposing middle block to kind of read that shoulder and know what MK White's been doing and what she's felt comfortable with and dive and take off that angle. But MK White is identifying the hands and swinging away from her really well.
So after that flurry of points from MK White, she was a little pumped up when she went back to serve. You certainly can't blame her for that, but that one well long. Service error, and here's Hannah Maddox serving Jill Gillen. Gillen in transition with a kill of her own.
You can't take Jill Gillen out of the offense. 3-pass, really solid, looking very confident on serve receive, right to her setter. Works her way up, gets stopped, and then has a nice approach. Good tempo set from Carly Graham, who's doing a really good job at varying the tempo from attacker to attacker and finding their hands.
Kill number 9 for Jill Gillen. Orlando as a team hitting north of 300 so far. Out to the pin, there's another kill for Caffrey, who along with Hannah Maddox has paced this Las Vegas attack.
And that was good location of a swing in between area 1 and area 6, just right kind of in between that seam. Nice location, and she always contacts that ball at a very high point.
Back set, Kaz Brown off the slide, dug up by Hippe. Back row shove by Maddox. Gillen splits the block, and there's another kill for Jill Gill.
Jill Gillen has to put in a lot of work in transition to get off the net to have her full approach, but she puts in that work, and it pays off. Also, Georgia Murphy is such a steady libero. She's extremely quiet. She just tacks on dig after dig. She's second in the league in total digs.
And third, when you count them digs per set, 3.7. An underrated player in the Federation, in my estimation, Madison, as Las Vegas sides out with Peyton Caffrey once more.
I completely agree. At the beginning of the season, Coach Amy Pauley said she walked into the gym as quiet as a mouse and said, I'm going to take this role, and she has with a lot of diligence.
She's a player that Amy Pauley also told us she could easily see at some point in her pro career making her way onto the Team USA national team. We'll see if that time does come, but Murphy certainly looks good. That serve, though, didn't. Point to Orlando, who lead by 5 as they enter the red zone and move ever closer to perhaps finishing their season with a dub. Carly Scott to do the honors. And once again, here goes Las Vegas. Alicia Glass-Childress doing everything she can to run down balls. And Schwann is able to roll that one to the floor. Boy, it has been a tough night on offense for Las Vegas. They've had their bright spots, particularly at the pin, Madison, but it has just been tough sledding against an Orlando team that has controlled the ball well and spread it out even better.
Orlando's controlled the ball well, and it feels like they've controlled each set incredibly well. Really clean first contacts, and they've been taking care of the ball very efficiently.
Pro Volleyball Federation, where every action carries the weight of passion and pride. There's a select group that rises above the rest. 23 athletes of the Pro Volleyball Federation are past or current members of the USA Women's National Volleyball Team, each a testament to dedication, skill, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Pro Volleyball Federation, building champions and making dreams a reality.
And on another picture-perfect evening, we welcome you for week 7 of Pro Volleyball Federation play.
It is a time to make a statement.
Comes over to GR. Evans, Jensen, and a right into the block. And who else? Magna Yamashita. This is what a welcome reunion this is for her. Courtney Lush, one down in front, and it's over. Leah still able to get it down for that kill.
There's a lot of happy faces here at Edition Financial Arena as Orlando leads by 6, up 2-0, closing in on perhaps a straight set win to close out this regular season. Courtney Schwann kept up with the right hand of Murr. Schwann will operate again, and no digging that one up. Courtney Schwann has been the hot hand of late for Orlando.
And props to Carly Graham for finding the hot hand. Whenever a player gets hot, she feeds them until they start to get slowed down. And right there, really solid mixing up of her shots, and the defense is having a hard time reading Schwann.
4 kills on 6 swings in this set for Schwann. That's long. Point Valkyries, they're within 2 of the match.
And at this point, if you're the Valkyries, you can almost taste the win, but you have to reel it back in, keep doing what you know is working, and just focus on every pass.
Carly Scott serves Caffrey. Maddox, back row, dug up by Sarame. Wow, what an up. And that falls inside the block and down. Another kill for Schwann, and match points for Orlando.
And that's an all-around team play. It starts with the dig. Nice read by Paula in the right spot with the right platform. And then Carly Graham has been absolutely incredible getting that ball all the way to her shoulder.
Oblad on the slide. Gillen retreats. And Schwann pops it over. Caffrey turned back. And Graham rightfully puts it away. And after 8 straight losses, Orlando finishes on the right foot with a season-ending sweep.
Oh, how sweep it is for the Valkyries. Ending it home with the sweep. It was an all-around team win. Every single facet of their game was firing on all cylinders. It looked comfortable. They looked confident. All-around team win. How incredible.
The numbers equally incredible for Orlando. Clean first contact and their best home result of this inaugural campaign. That will feel awfully good for the Valkyries, Madison.
And if you're Amy Pauley, you're so incredibly proud of how your team fought through the entirety of their season to come out on top, the grit that they displayed, the fight that they displayed. If you're the head coach, you probably could not be more proud in this moment.
High fives all around for Orlando. And Madison, I know the season hasn't gone the way the Valkyries wanted. In fact, Amy Pauley took time yesterday at practice to tell them, rest, love each other, soak this in, enjoy it. They did all of that, and they turned in their best result at home this season.
And big picture-wise, the Pro Volleyball Federation is almost capping off its inaugural season. It's been an absolute success. It's been so momentous and historic, and I know all these Valkyries are just so happy to be a part of it.
Madison, it's been a pleasure. Can't wait to do this again in 2025. For our entire crew, so long from Ad 5.